What's up, everybody? It's Edgar here from SFL Heron TV. I'm joined with Andre. Andre, how's it going?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Unfortunately, it's just both of us today. Just have to make do with what we have. Our team is also dealing with the ramifications of the coronavirus, so we only have two members present today. But we're gonna do our best to bring you guys the news and our thoughts on the MLS's back tournament. So, Andre, what were your thoughts on the tournament?
On the tournament itself, I came in with not great expectations because we came back right when the tournament started. We were 0-2. That last game we played, they flipped the score on us bad by a mistake from Torres, and different things just happened throughout the game. So, but I was at least looking for the team to compete, something I didn't really see. You, like I said, like we talked about it before, you see glimpses of good things, but those glimpses don't last more than 3-4 minutes in the whole game, which shouldn't happen. You know?
Right. I think we were all a little bit excited when we saw the group stages, especially when we saw that we were going to finally get paired up with our Florida rivals, Orlando City. I know I for one was really looking forward to that game and seeing what we could do against them. We've been giving them a lot of smack for they're not having made it to the
Yeah.
playoffs and that little banter that we've had since we're both from Florida. But they came out on top, and got to give credit where it's due. They played a pretty good game. We didn't capitalize when we should have. We did. It was the same story as the pre-quarantine games where we're not capitalizing on our chances and we're allowing the other teams to get back in the game, and it's been a problem. It's been Taylor's oldest time with this team.
Yeah, especially since, like I said, it's different, because you're playing a direct rival. Apart from being the MLS and being in the same conference, you're playing to what is supposed to be your classical rival, your derby rival in the same state. And the fact that we came out, the losers out of that game, and the performance itself, it wasn't the worst. But then again, it's a team that built up a lot of expectation. I'm talking about Inter Miami. And like I said, in the games before, we had glimpses of better soccer than what we actually showed on that game itself.
Yeah, the for me, the main problem throughout the tournament and pretty much the whole season, because we're going to talk about that in a minute, our 0-5 start to the season. But the main thing for me has honestly been the fact that we cannot hold on to a lead to save our life. And that's something that if you have to waste time, if you have to start playing kickball, if you have to drop back to five at the back, once you get that 1-0, so be it. We spoke about this a little bit before the team even started. Do we want a team that's going to play the park the bus Mourinho style and gets results? Or do we want to play exciting attacking soccer and, not have as good of an expectation as we probably should? And the reality is that we haven't done any. We haven't been able to get results and play exciting soccer, and we can't capitalize on a small 1-0 lead. So that's very worrying for the team.
Yeah, as of now, the team is not excelling in anything in particular. Like normally teams, let's see that with their build, they defend really good and they lack in attack, or they attack really good and they lack in defense. We're lacking in everything. Our middle is weak. Our back line for the longest was three in the back, which I guess Alonso noticed and he changed it because that wasn't working. And we had the bad luck that Robinson dropped out of the tournament, and then we saw Agudelo. He didn't have a good performance. Carranza just came out of injury, and at the end of the day, he's a 19, 20 year old that you can't really put everything on his back because, like I said, you are playing competitive soccer here, and you're just not gonna come out put everything on you could say on a quote unquote rookie that just came to the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. The injuries and the personnel didn't really help the situation. But my main thing here is that the team hasn't really shown fight. That's one of the things that has honestly bothered me probably the most, because I've always been one that if the team loses but gives 110% and plays with heart and passion, makes creative plays in defense, is out there slide tackling, fighting tooth and nail to get the ball back. That's what I like to see. Win or lose, as long as the team gives their 100%, the supporters are going to back them, and we're still going to back the team. We're not out here bashing a team that's only been together for 5 games. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, we have this unprecedented situation with the quarantine and the lockdown. So these players who already didn't really know each other all that well, 2-3 games into the start of the season, already had to separate once again, which that could never help. And although we had a favorable draw for the tournament, I thought that with Orlando City, New York City, and was it Philadelphia, the other team?
The Union, yeah.
That was a pretty favorable draw. I really did think that we should be able to finish at least second place, and at the very worst, one of the best third place teams. And that wasn't the case. We lost every single game, which was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, that is the worst part of all of it. I mean, you go with the expectations of having a decent tournament, with having the favor in the draw, because everybody was happy when the draws came out. You're like, okay, this is doable. We're not asking to come out first, but we can come out second. And even today, that went down. Oh, let's come out third, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. In the first game, we lacked in the defense. The second game, we lacked in defense. Today, the defense was better, and then one mistake cost us the whole game. So it starts from the back. It's been the same problem since the beginning, and I guess, like I said, the winning mentality it's a big factor, because 1-0, 1-0 in the previous games, you have to give your all to hold that result, and I didn't see that in the players, and I don't blame the coach as much, even though he is the responsible for the formation putting out there. But if I don't see players giving their 100% in the game, I can't blame the coach either, because every coach is going to be like, go out there and give your all. And I didn't see them giving their all.
Right, the players let them down, and that was something that was especially evident today, because we saw some of the pregame interviews and the players were saying, we're up for it against Philadelphia. We have one last shot to go through in this tournament. So, it really got everybody pumped up. The players were pumped. They got us supporters excited for the game. We actually thought, man, this Philadelphia team is pretty weak, or New York team is pretty weak. And this is going to be our chance to, maybe put 3 past them and hope for the best that we can go through as one of the best third place teams. And that just wasn't the case. The players let Alonso down today, because I can at least give him credit for not having the arrogance to continue with the 3 at the back when it clearly hasn't been working. He was cognizant of the fact that 3 at the back has not been working. Let me switch to a better formation. The 4-2-3-1. Is that what we played today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very solid formation. That's what I had been hoping for since the beginning. I said 4-2-3-1 might not be the most exciting formation to play, but it's one of the most solid from back to
It's
front.
very balanced. Yeah.
And he went out and played that formation, but the players didn't do their part. We couldn't score against a pretty weak defense. Another momentary lapse of concentration where we concede a ridiculous goal. That is not even MLS level. That's like third division of some South American league. That is very, very bad, the goal that we conceded, to just pretty much ball watch the forward, receive a through ball from God knows how many yards away. And it was just sad to see. I was like, this is pathetic, man. This is like college level soccer where you're just playing kickball. And
exactly.
it was
Especially
a
with the experience. With the experience that we have in the back, we know, we talked about it before. Torres is not the fastest. Center back in the league. I will say he's the slowest center back in the league. But at the end, his experience should help the back line. And for example, today I did see the back line a little bit more organized than before, just because it was the line of 4, and then we didn't really leave much openings. But it takes one mistake, and that's all it took. It took one mistake and one childish mistake for us to lose the whole game. Because from there we had to attack, we had to throw everything forward, and I'm surprised they didn't score another one, because, like I said, we were just risking too much at that point.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to touch on is the mentality of the team. Not only is it not a winning mentality, some of the players are just making some ridiculous decisions. Like, how is it that we concede two red cards or two double yellows in back-to-back games? Like, you need to have better concentration than that. To go out there when the team is already down a goal and go get yourself sent off after one of your teammates did it a couple days ago. It's ridiculous. It's something
I
that
mean,
you don't expect that from professional players.
I
One,
I
okay,
wouldn't
but
put too
back to
much on
back.
the first one. Yeah, on the first one, for example, on Reyes, I mean, that's the only option he had. We were still trying to, get the tie, and that's the only thing he could do. But today's red card was so childish, knowing that you have a yellow card, knowing how the other team already did that to Figal. The same player, if I'm not mistaken, just stood still, and then he just waited for the forward or whoever was attacking to just run into them and throw themselves. The ref was calling everything. The ref gave out yellow cards left and right. Why expose
Exactly,
yourself like that? Why expose
exactly,
yourself
and
like that?
and that was the
You're
thing.
not a rookie anymore.
We saw it. We noticed that the referee was handing out yellow cards for fun. And on top of that, when he went in and bombarded this guy in the box, shoved the crap out of him, the ref was probably standing no more than 5 yards away from him. So the ref is probably watching this like, is this guy serious right now? He just made my decision that much easier. It was a,
Exactly.
a total heat of the moment mistake that Agudelo did, and it was disappointing to see, especially
Yeah,
when we
from there
were
on, I mean,
chasing the game at that point. Granted, it
yeah.
was towards the end. The chances of us being able to get something out of the game it was very slim. But you never know. Look what happened in the Orlando City game with Nani. We
Yeah,
conceded in like the 90 something, the dying minutes of the game. So who's to say that we wouldn't have been able to do the same thing today against New York? It was just
exactly.
a lack of concentration from the players that I don't like to see, from professionals.
Yeah, especially with like I said, a player that we know it's very talented, like Pizarro, for example. You actually, since there's no audience, you can actually hear what they say. And at one point, I remember him giving the ball to Morgan, and Morgan just going back into the middle, closing himself in, and then Pizarro just screaming out, "Oh la puta madre!" That frustration, that frustration, you can tell that's been going on the whole game. Pizarro is not linking up with anybody. Pellegrini, which is our young TP, he's not showing up. We don't have a forward. Just many things that are not working out for the team.
Yeah, we've been very unfortunate so far with how things have played out. Some of the bigger signings like Pellegrini, as you mentioned, haven't really lived up to that standard. And I mean, poor kid too. He's a 19-year-old and he has one of the highest price tags of any of our players. So that pressure, must be pretty clear for the guy. So I don't blame him too much. He's still young and he's one of the players that I have noticed has actually tried to fight, to get the ball and try to make something, but the immaturity is still there. He's new to the league, and I wasn't expecting him to come out and be our top goal scorer, our star player, despite
No,
having
no,
that
not that.
14-15 million dollar price tag that he has. But I mean, if we do want to talk about some positives, something that pretty much everybody in our group has agreed with is that Pizarro has been far and away the best player in the team so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's put in the weight that a DP should. He's the person that once he gets the ball, we actually hope something from him, and we actually are looking forward to what he can do because he's already shown us that he's capable of doing some good things going forward. So, I mean, he's been doing good. He's been coming out man of the match every single game,
Right,
and we lose every game. So
right,
that shows you a lot.
right. I mean, Pizarro he's been fantastic going forward. He has that drive, that will to win that I really do think he needs to help his teammates understand that we're out there to win and we need to fight for the ball more and be a little more creative and take some more chances because there are times where I'm watching these guys like try to make a simple switch from one side to the other and they overhit the ball. things that, we play on our Thursday and our Thursday pickup games. Like we're performing switches that are 10 yards away. And the fact that, you're playing with no crowd, there's no pressure on you. When I see that, it's extremely frustrating. And I'm not saying that any of us could do better. That's nonsense. That's ludicrous to think that way and compare our games to a professional MLS game. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is that the skill, you mentioned it the other day that even our forwards are having difficulty controlling simple passes. They're pros. They have to fizz the ball hard at you. It's not going to come pretty. It's up to you to control the ball, look up, make a pass, take a player on, do something. But we're not stringing together passes, and it's very frustrating to watch when we're watching the team play.
Yeah, it's very, especially today. Like if you saw today's game, if for example, if New York didn't score that goal with that mistake that we had, that game could have gone on for 3 hours and it would have stayed 0-0. Like I didn't see anything going forward from us, apart from just Pizarro with his push and his heart. But that's it, nothing else. Sadly, I mean, by the second half, you were just hoping for a mistake from New York for us to score, and sadly, it was the other way around.
Right. Or even the set pieces, because we've actually looked pretty decent on set pieces, like corner kicks and free kicks. If there's another positive that we can take from everything is that we've looked pretty solid when it comes to offensive set pieces. Granted, we haven't really scored any corners or anything like that, but in terms of like winning those 50-50 balls, I have seen it. Agudelo had a great header in the first half. You remember there was a cross and he jumped up and headed it, and the keeper made a nice save to the side. And Figal, Torres, they've been winning headers, offensive headers that, arguably maybe we could have scored one or two. I mean, luck wasn't there for us either. But, as far as that goes, I think that's another positive that we can take away from the tournament.
And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we were talking about it right after the game. We were pretty heated at the moment, pretty mad about the loss. But now with a cold head, you could actually look at that. We are a new team. We are a new team that's going through, we're still in a crisis. We played 2 games. They're just getting to know each other, and we stopped. We just got thrown into a tournament with, like I said, new players, new coach. That don't know each other. So I mean, the circumstances weren't the best, but we were just hoping for a little better. Hopefully, like I said, I still have faith in Alonso. There's nothing that takes away from my faith, because I know he has a winning mentality. He looks like the type of coach that has a winning mentality, and actually, the cups he has shows that he has a winning mentality. But I mean, we just got to give it time, and hopefully hope for the best, and just try to see some changes. Personally, I think what we're lacking the most right now is just that winning mentality, that drive, and that passion that actually pushes you to a win.
Yeah. One of the things that, I definitely agree with that. I still have full faith in Alonso and even the team itself, although they didn't perform to the standards that we expected them to perform at. I still have faith in the players. I have seen some glimpses here and there from certain individuals, Pizarro, Pellegrini, as we mentioned. What I do think is that, I mean, I know we're going to talk about this in a video later on, once we have more guys, about some of the signings that we potentially want to see Inter Miami bring. We still have that DP signing that we still have to make another DP. And I know that we can talk about that for hours once there's more of us, but we really do need to find, that deadly lethal striker. To me, that was one of the main things missing. And it's because we have the creativity with Pizarro, but we don't have that player that's going to feed, that he can feed, that's going to score our game-winning goals. I saw some people talking about in the comments after the game. I also saw many people talk that we're missing that deadly striker. Maybe bring some talented kid from Brazil or something, as we've seen other European teams do. They pick up these youngsters from South America that that are similar to Pellegrini. Young players that have that drive, and I think that's something that we need to look at and discuss in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we do need a forward with, I guess, more movement because from what I saw, for example, Aguilera didn't convince me. Not Pizarro. Carranza he's a very static forward. He's not the one that just runs behind. He makes up space for him. He's just there to get the chance. And to be honest, I mean, the most lethal or the most convincing forward we have right now is the guy that just came out of university. The guy that was Robinson. To me, that's been the best forward we had so far, and he's the youngest or one of
Yeah,
the
he's
youngest
looked
for
solid.
Carranza. So, I mean, we do need somebody better up top.
So moving forward, after everything that's happened, this has pretty much been the culmination of the past 3 months. It's 0-5, as I mentioned earlier. We need to at least mention that Inter Miami CF is now the team that officially holds the worst starting record for any MLS expansion side. So,
Expansion team.
where do we go from here?
I mean, I just think that we can't focus on that anymore. I mean, that title, yes, is going to be heavy on our back. It's the first game of regular season. Uh, People are going to be calling us that. The media. I mean, everything we say, any little thing that we say, gets to the ears of the players, and that's going to be some weight on them. But I feel like it's just up to the coach and the training staff to actually insert, like I said, that winning mentality and just not to worry about what everybody else is saying, and just start from zero, to have a fresh start.
Yeah, I'd actually I would like for the team to really think about that. And I do think that this, if we're going to take any positives away from this, I think that this can actually, this could build character within the team. Hopefully that this, it's pretty embarrassing title is something that drives the team forward to, condition harder in training, um, have that winning mentality that you mentioned. And, although it's been a rocky start, at the end of the day, we can't fault the team too much because they really were thrust into a really crappy situation from the get-go. These poor guys haven't even had their own fans at one of their games yet, at an official game that hasn't been, preseason in St. Petersburg or whatever. I know that
Mm-hmm.
before the quarantine started, we were all excited for that first home opener at the stadium. And I'm sure that
Yeah, I
the
got
players
canceled the
were
day before.
right. It got canceled the day before. And I'm sure that the players have also been extremely frustrated by that fact. So hopefully that they take this much needed time off and they do start, working on the chemistry a little bit more, getting to know each other a little more. Maybe this is for the best, You know how I am. I'm always trying to think, with the glass, excuse me, half full rather than empty. I'm always trying to think positive, and I
Mm-hmm.
really do think that the team does have the capability of excelling later on. We just really need to put the work in right now. Use this pain and strengthen the squad.
Use it in a positive way, making us stronger, better, and we just need that to be more rebellious and just do completely the opposite what we were doing. And hopefully that happens. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. I mean, we do have, like I said, big personalities in the team, experienced players that have gone through this. Obviously, we're a new team, but every player goes through losing streaks to bad starts. It's a matter of time.
Yep, just how you grow from it. So, with that
Mhm.
said, any final thoughts on the MLS's back tournament and Inter Miami's performance?
I mean, nothing really. Like I said, a little disappointed from the performance, but I mean, we can just go up from here. We could just grow up from here, and I do believe that we're gonna, at least on the first year, we're gonna excel in some things. Because like I said, we have good players, we have a good coach, and yeah, just hope for the best as of now.
All right, that's a fair point. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, without further ado, I think that about wraps things up here at SFL Heron TV. I know it's been a pretty long time since we've recorded a podcast, and granted, we don't have the full squad with us tonight, but hopefully for the next one, we can get more people on board. If you guys have any comments, leave them down below. Let us know if you guys agree with us. If you don't agree with us, let us know that too. We love any feedback, any criticism. And let us know what you want to hear from us next time, because we do plan on recording another video soon, whether that's another, different thoughts from other members of the group, and maybe some signings, and just different little things like that we want to touch on. So thank you for tuning in, and have a great one, everybody. Vamos
Take
Miami.
care.